This is Primo RJR at viewfromthehood.net. Of course, you can reach me at Primo RJR at Yahoo, at Hotmail, number one Primo RJR at gmail.com. I just I want to talk about some things that are trending, and somehow that word doesn't even sound fair. Trending. I'm talking about the not just the ISIS and Al Qaeda killings, the suicide bombers, the injuring innocent people. That's a terrible, terrible problem. I have some ideas on it, and one day we'll get to it. But right now, I want to talk about the police in America killing a lot of black people, black men, unnecessarily. I'm very careful when I use the word unnecessarily, because if you're a cop, you have to do your job. But if your life is in danger, well, obviously you need to take down the suspect or perpetrator. And nobody's perfect. I don't expect the police to do everything perfectly. There are going to be some mistakes made. I'm having this little talk this morning because it's gone way past the idea of a mistake here and there, or something happened where a suspect or a perpetrator did something and the police had to kill him because he thought his life was in danger. Um, I know some policemen myself, and I was recently talking to a guy. Of course, I won't mention his name, but we were talking about home invaders, and I don't remember all the details. The one thing that I want to mention, because I learned this the other night on the phone with him, was I mentioned some as a response to a story he was telling me. Well, why didn't you take that smaller gun that you have, and why didn't you just shoot him? And he said to me, well, you can't shoot a guy in the leg or in the shoulder or in the arm to 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 render him where to put him in a position where he can't harm you. And I thought for a moment. I said, well, what do you mean? And he said, well, IAD or internal affairs or somebody will be called in, because um, you can't shoot a guy in the leg or the arm to just to stop him or injure him, so that you can apprehend him and cuff him, and then whatever happens after that. And I said, well, why not? And he said, well, because you when you pull your service revolver, you have to shoot a guy in certain areas. Some things that they teach the police in officer training school or whatever. But it has to be a kill shot, which means it has to be in torso or the chest area or something like that. Um, and he told me further that otherwise the internal affairs people they'll 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 still get on the cop's case because he can't shoot him in the leg or the arm or just somewhere to injure him, so you can cuff him. Um, if your life is in danger, then you can pull your service revolver and you can shoot him, but it has to be in the torso or the chest area. You have to kill him. Just being a normal American citizen, I don't know how many of you guys know that, but I didn't know that before. I thought, if it's enough danger, I mean, if you're talking to a guy and you want to arrest him, or he frightens you a little bit and you think you need to have him subdued before you continue the initial investigation. After maybe doing a cursory search, you might want to put the handcuffs on him. But if you're that frightened, and this is what my guy told me, and he's a cop. If you're that frightened of the suspected perpetrator, or then you can't pull your service revolver and shoot him in the leg or arm. You have to kill him. But what I want to get to now is the fact that I turn on my television and every day, a policeman or some policemen or a few policemen are killing black folks, mostly men, but women too. Um, I don't know what what goes on in an IAD investigation, or when internal affairs, when they come in, because I guess they have to inspect and investigate every police involved shooting to make sure it was a good shoot. Uh, that's a funny phrase in itself, a good shoot. Um, but lately, we're talking about numbers that have skyrocketed from, in comparison to the old days, when black folks weren't even considered they weren't even considered whole human beings. I don't remember the last edition. Let me tell you right now, I'm 66 years old. I'm so I've been here quite a while. I've seen lots of things. Um, I was in New Orleans, and me and my grandpa, who was a German, we were going on Rampart Street to get some sandwiches, and there's a store, a big department store, D.H. Kraus, Krauss, right on Canal Street, right before you get to Rampart, going towards the riverfront. And we were just standing there. It's a guy with a wagon. Oh, he must have been there 100 years. A little old guy. He sold tamales. Oh my God, great tamales, hot dogs, but especially the tamales. He had a little push wagon, and we were standing next to him, and we were buying something. But right 20 feet from us, there were two white guys talking, because there was a lot of noise going on across the street, by D.H. Krause, by the department store. A black guy was running from the side door, and the police were, you could hear the sirens. They weren't there yet, but they were on their way. And it was a black guy standing between the two white guys. Well, the black guy was standing 10 feet from me and my grandpa, and the two white guys were 10 feet further. So the two white guys said, "Oh yeah, that nigga did it. That nigga probably stole something. They gonna get his ass though." Let me tell you back when this was. This was in the 50s. Okay, so I'm just letting you know that, so it doesn't you can equate that time period, and you know what's going on at that time. In fact, in the 32nd edition of Webster's Dictionary, I think a black man was considered 50% of a human being. I may not be correct on the dates, but it was in the 50s. So these guys don't know each other, the two white guys and the black guy. But they get into a conversation. So the two white guys, they're telling the black guy, "Oh no, that nigga did it. Whatever was stole, he stole it." And they're using the word nigga. But they're not saying nigga. They're saying nigger. Yeah, that nigger did it. And the black guy said, "No, he didn't do it, man. He didn't do it. He never went inside the store. I just bought a hot dog, and I saw him get off the streetcar. That's a trolley. I saw him get off the streetcar, and he went in the side door. He didn't have a chance to even get in the store, so he could not have stolen anything. He probably was running because he is a nigga. Just being a nigga and being in an area where a crime may have been committed would probably mean that you're very likely to lose your life. And that might happen today, but this is in the 50s I'm talking about. So they get into a heated conversation, and I started to say something, and Papa said to me, my grandpa, he said, "No, don't say nothing, son, just listen." And so the two white guys were saying, "Oh yeah, no, he's still," and the black guy said, "No, I'm telling you, man, the black dude just he didn't even get in the store, man. So the police were called. I see all the cars coming, but if somebody stole something, it wasn't him, because he sure didn't steal nothing from D.H. Krause, because he didn't get inside the store." So they had a difference of opinion, the two white guys and the black guy. And what was amazing, even more so than the two white guys referring to the black guy as nigger, and that nigger that ran out of the store, he stole something. Even more astounding than that is the fact that the white guys, one of the white guys told the black guy to give me your ID. Do you have any ID, man? You got a driver's license or something like that? And the black guy said, "Yeah, I got my